Hi, everybody. It's Alex Jarett with Technology Executives Club, and I'm really happy to do another spotlight interview with my good friend Jeff Wolniakowski. Hi, Jeff. How you doing?
Alex, I'm good. Good to see you again.
Yes, it's great to see you as well. Man, you've done such good work. I'm looking at if I look over here, I'm looking at your profile. You've done so many great things. How many C-level jobs have you had? I mean, you're like a multidisciplinary C-level technology leader. I kind of like that phrase. You can use it. But you really are. You were at the CIO at the Advanced Group and CTO of Advanced RPO. I mean, how many different? I mean, you've been doing this for a while, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I came up with a finance background, and so
Oh,
I've got a real business sense, a business degree, business sense that I manage my different roles through that lens. So it made that transformation to technology really at the beginning of my career, and since then I've been head of technology at C-level for multiple organizations in the transportation industry, professional services, staffing, recruiting, and really had a good impact around multiple industries of all sorts, whether it be the wine and spirits industry, which of course I'm a really big fan of, or sports apparel,
I am too.
et cetera,
Yeah.
et cetera. So yeah, it's been fun. And then most recently, as you mentioned, with Advanced Group, we went to market with different brands, Advanced RPO, Advanced Clinical, et cetera, Wonderland Group. And
Oh, that's all part of Advanced? I didn't realize
yeah,
that.
so I was the chief information officer for all of those organizations, and they all had differing strategies and they played in different markets. So it really was like being a CIO for each of those independent organizations. And it was a great experience.
That was wonderful experience. And the thing that I didn't realize, you had a finance sort of background up front, and then you shifted over. That's really interesting. So you really understand how the businesses work.
Yeah, so when I grew up, I wanted to, at the time, I didn't know how to say this, but in high school, I just wanted to come in and transform organizations. I didn't really know how to do that or
Really?
what that was. Yeah, so when I went to,
I wanted to be a tennis player. I mean,
yeah, mine was not as typical as you might find. So I wanted to transform organizations and thought that finance would be the path to do that.
yeah,
Um, and
you're
then
right.
when the rubber hit the road, and I was in really personal finance, I realized when my 3-inch binder that had told me what I was allowed to do kind of restricted my activities, I thought
Yeah.
this isn't for me. So I moved over to technology, and as a result of my business training and background, I was able to kind of move up the ranks rapidly because I spoke the language of the business.
That's really great. I mean, you did. If I'm looking at your background, man, you really jumped. I mean, you at an early age, you were already at C-level jobs, and you really have. Like you said, you've done it, logistics, sports, clothing. You said it, all these different types of industries that you worked in, and most recently, the biggest one was the Advanced Group, which you said was recruiting and staffing. You've got the multidisciplinary thing that I just mentioned. So you've been CIO, CISO, CTO. That's pretty cool because not everybody I talk to has been able to do all those roles. And then you also have done a lot. You've mentioned transformation probably 3 times already. You've actually done a lot of work in successful business and digital transformations. I'm going to say it that way because you were kind of saying that to me earlier.
Yeah, so all those lessons, I've been able to kind of evolve the learnings from all of them over time, and have developed really what is a transformation framework that I've
Yeah.
applied at organizations that have followed. And again, you could see the number of organizations I've worked with or worked for, but you can multiply that by a factor of 2 or 3 to have a good understanding of how many transformations I've been a part of. So those can be transformations of an IT department or IT function. And then it could be a transformation of a shared services or corporate function.
Yeah.
And then it can also be the transformation of the entire organization as a whole, being services and products that are offered and certainly how it operates, as well as how it's supported by those corporate services. So Yeah, the framework really is just like 5 critical elements that I identify, and you kind of work through these iteratively to slowly but surely and effectively transform an organization.
That's pretty amazing. I hope it's okay if I just read them real quickly, but we don't have time to go into them deep in this conversation. But operational backbone, viable digital offering, digital platform, accountability framework, and external development network. So that's your 5 key pillars of that framework. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So you've
Yeah,
really go ahead.
yeah. I was just going to call out one in particular that I think makes the most critical of the critical of the 5.
Yeah,
So, and that's accountability framework, and that's maybe a
yeah.
different term than we hear normally today, which is people and culture
I'm
management
glad you
and
said
change.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's really where I truly do believe all transformation starts. You've got to have the culture that allows for change. And that means not a command and control culture. It has to be truly an iterative, agile culture that allows for folks and empowers folks to make decisions and make that change and truly own that change. And so culture management really leads into that people management
Yeah.
or change management function. And what I like to focus on there is transparency and visibility into messaging. So where are we going as an organization, and making certain that everyone truly does understand the what and the why and the how before you get started. With that, the folks tend to sort of certainly get buy-in, but you also get co-ownership. People want to be a part of that. And with that starts to spread into the culture, and before you know it, you have true culture change and adaptation to the transformation principles that you're focusing on as an organization.
Well, you got that down. You really do have a framework. This includes strategic turnarounds too, right? If you've got somebody out there that is like, oh my God, we've been in this big transformation, you could actually come in and fix it. Is that right?
Yeah, I would say most organizations are in a spot where they're either in transformation or need to start a transformation. The only organizations I found that really had a kind of a green field or a clean slate are startups. So unless you're a startup, you probably are in some form of transformation that is being challenged. Transformation's hard. Change is hard.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
For any organization, whatever the size is, could be 2 people, could be 2 million people, it's going to be a challenge. So
yeah.
Along the way, there are things that you need to continue to do. You can use the airplane analogy or the sailing analogy, where you have to continuously check the winds, reassess and realign. So there has to be continuous and constant monitoring and a good understanding of where you're at. So that means having touch points with not just the people and the culture, but the initiatives that you're undertaking. So taking a look at what are the ROIs on these different initiatives, whether they be technology initiatives, operational change initiatives, whatever they could be. You have to keep focus on those key KPIs along the way to kind of assess where you're going. From there, you can have a better sense of what needs to change. Is there a greater focus on the people or culture that needs to happen? Do you need to optimize your business processes or reassess your business processes or even lines of business as part of your transformation? A big thing that we talk about often, especially now with artificial intelligence leading every single conversation we have, is the importance of data and data governance. So how clean is your data and how well are you protecting it, not just from a cybersecurity perspective, but from an operational perspective? How clean will it continue to be? And that obviously ties in with your business processes. And then finally, when you do talk about a digital transformation as part of your business transformation, you want to talk about the platform you're developing. So how are you digitizing and then truly creating a digital platform?
That's great. I mean, you've clearly really thought about this. You've said a lot there, and we don't have time to delve too deep in it. Hopefully you'll come back and we'll do more of these. This has been Alex Jarett with Jeff Wolniakowski. Spotlight interview. Jeff, great job today, and we really appreciate you being on the show.
Thanks, Alex. I'll see you soon.